What's going on, guys? This is Stack That Gold. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about when you should buy gold and silver and other precious metals. The best time to buy any type of metal all depends on a few things. Depends on the economic situation, depends on how much you're willing to invest, and it also depends on what your long-term strategy is. For me personally, my long-term strategy is to invest in precious metals in the long term, so that for me, I personally will have something that I know is going to be there 10, 20 years from now and will most likely be worth more than I paid for it. Now, everyone has a different goal when they invest. Some people do it, maybe they're saving for their kids' education. They want to invest part of their money in precious metals. Maybe they want to do it as a long-term investment for retirement, or maybe they just want to do it as an investment, to pass down to their kids or grandkids eventually. For me, as I stated, it's more of a long-term goal for retirement. Now, the prices of precious metals are constantly changing pretty much, daily. Um, Now, over the years, obviously, the price of gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and other metals has gone up. It has not gone down. So you have to think, this is a long-term investment that in the long run, it will go up. You can't consider this some type of get-rich-quick scheme or short-term hedge against, you know, whatever you want to, bad economy or the price of oil or this or that. This is a long-term play. You have to be in it for the long term, okay? Now, not to say you can't make short-term gains, but overall, precious metals is a long-term play. So the question comes up, when is the best time to invest in precious metals? The only real answer is now. Now, what I mean by that is you have to look at what precious metals are doing. You have to look in the last year or so. Now, this hasn't been an average year. We've had COVID since 2020, and we've had other financial and political and economic crises arise in this time. So these are not normal times. However, even during these times, precious metals go up, they could go down, they could continue to go up. Right now, they are up significantly higher than when I first started investing in March of 2020. At that time, silver was about $16 an ounce. And my gut feeling was that precious metals would go up because of the pandemic. When I started seeing economic factors and factories in China and across the globe shutting down, I knew from my own economic background, my education is in economics and finance, that I had an inclination that it's basically supply and demand. The supply is not there. The demand is either constant or increasing, so the price must go up. So at the time in March of 2020, I purchased 200 ounces of silver at $16 an ounce. Now, I didn't know silver was going to go up. I had no I'm not a psychic. I'm, I'm somewhat more in tune with what's going on in the economy. Uh, and eventually that price of silver this year went up to, over $28 an ounce. So, $12 an ounce profit on what I paid over, in March of 2020. So, silver is somewhat down now. This is the beginning of October 2021. It was hovering right around 24, 25. It's about 22 and a half ish. So it's down a little bit. Will it go up? Will it go down? Nobody knows for sure. The thing is, you have to make the decision that you want to allocate a certain amount of your money into purchasing silver, gold, platinum, palladium, what have you. Now, depending on how much you want to invest in and what type of metals you're looking in to, for me personally, my personal recommendation would be, if you don't have a lot of money to start investing, I would highly recommend you start buying silver. What makes silver a great option? Well, silver is relatively inexpensive compared to gold or platinum or palladium, and it's widely available. Um, Traditionally, in the long term, silver has actually had higher returns than gold, believe it or not, traditionally speaking. Now, over the last couple years, the price of gold has basically almost doubled. So we're not in normal times, but historically, silver has made greater gains than gold. Now, the downside to buying silver is it's extremely heavy and more dense than gold, and you have to have a lot more of it to equal the same amount in gold. So basically, you divide approximately 22 and a half into 1700, and you have to figure that's how many ounces of silver that you need for 1 ounce of gold. So you're going to have a lot more silver for the same amount in gold by weight. Now, this is not, necessarily a bad thing. You could have the metal stored for you if you use someone that, stores precious metals. You could have it stored in a safe place, like in a safe at home or in a bank, what have you. So this is a good option for, I would say, beginner investors. Now, if you have a little bit more money and you want something that is maybe a little bit less, takes up a little bit less space and more easily transportable, you might want to consider platinum. Now, platinum is used in the automotive industry heavily. Right now, platinum is very roughly half the value of gold, even though platinum is about 40 times more scarce than gold. It all has to do, again, with supply and demand. But platinum is a great option, I'd say, for people who have a little bit more money to spend than purchasing silver. Platinum is a great option for you. Platinum has some huge fluctuations in price. I mean, I've seen it go from maybe about $750 an ounce to about $1,250 an ounce within the last year or so. So platinum highly fluctuates. What you would want to do if you do invest in platinum, my personal advice is to wait till it's on the downward side. Look to see where platinum has been in the past year. If it's on the lower side of things, I would recommend buying. If it's on the medium to higher end, maybe not buy as much or hold off till it goes down again. That's my advice. Now, the next option is gold. Everybody knows gold. That is why it's so expensive. It's heavily used in jewelry, electronics. Gold is the gold standard for precious metals, pretty much. What can I say about gold? The price of gold, like I said, in the past, 2, 3 years has nearly doubled in price. So, it's not the most affordable option right now. But if you look, I noticed a pattern every 4 to 6 weeks. There seems to be a dip in the price of gold by as much as $100. So what you would want to do is look to see a pattern over the past 6 months and try to find when prices go up and prices go down. I've noticed a pattern over the past few months. I've seen it as high as about 1835 and maybe as low as 1735. So, somewhere in that range, you want to wait till you start to see a downward trend in the gold. At this current time in October of 2021, these are the prices. You kind of want to look on the lower end. You could use this strategy, I think, in the near future. It'll be helpful if, the price of gold doesn't go crazy. You want to see when that low dip occurs, and you want to try to buy, in the past few months, you see when the lowest price was, and you wait until it gets close to that, and that's when you would want to buy gold. Now, the last option is palladium. Now, palladium historically has been a heck of a lot less money. Now, palladium has taken a wild ride in the past year. It's gone up as high as almost 3,000 an ounce, and now it's, approximately $1,950 an ounce. So it's roughly $1,000, in lost value in the past, since, May. So, you're talking a matter of months. It is highly volatile. I personally don't know exactly why that is. Historically, palladium has been dramatically cheaper than gold, and I don't understand why it has dramatically increased in the past, few years, especially. In 2018, it was going for less than 1,000 an ounce, and then you're talking this year at almost 3,000 an ounce. So I don't really understand the economics behind palladium. If you're, again, if you want to use the same strategy as you do with gold, with palladium, to see maybe if there's a dip, and if you're looking for maybe some short-term, gain, to see, wait till it goes up. But I would not recommend investing in palladium because, to me, it's too volatile of a metal to invest in. So that's basically my tips for investing in precious metals. I hope this was helpful. Please like my channel, subscribe, and always stack that gold.